Talk a little sports. All right. The NFL. Every top team looks sorry, besides the Dallas Cowboys. It has been shockingly crazy how the Dallas Cowboys are the only team left standing with seemingly no issues. Offense good, defense good. They're blowing teams out. They're beating other NFC East teams, divisional games. They're just looking great. Dolphins lost Hill for a few plays, came back, looked great, did great, and they still lost the game. They were up 14 points with 3 minutes to go. Everybody's like, we can pack this in, turn the channel. They lost. San Fran looks good too, but remember they lost a couple weeks ago looking bad. So I think it goes Dallas, San Fran, Ravens had to go to overtime to beat a sorry team. And then, like, they had the same issues drives, defense, offensive efficiency. Not good. The Chiefs complaining with the refs. I don't understand. You got two championships. You have the most controversial calls in y'all favor the last couple of years and win two championships on the back of that. And totally had a hissy fit with the refs. And I'm like, your man is 2 feet off sides. He's closer to Von Miller than anyone else. And here's the best part. You forgot y'all turned over the ball. They turned the ball over. They had mad penalties. Just the Chiefs are in shambles. They have 5 losses, most losses in this span when they've been good and winning championships. They'll probably have another one. There's only 3-4 games left. The way they playing, they'll have another one. And Detroit lost again. So all the top teams look bad. So obviously, no one wants Dallas to win. But Dallas is the best team and playing the best. When you only have 3 or 4 games left in the season, you don't want to be playing the worst. You want to be playing close to best and efficient and effective as possible. And Dallas Cowboys are the only team out there, besides San Francisco 49ers. I think San Francisco will be under them, playing the best. Now, obviously, the Ravens won their game, so they'll be all right. Miami Dolphins only have 4 losses, so they'll be fine. Even the Chiefs only have 5 losses, so they'll be fine. But the point is, when you have losses like this, where you cannot change, it's not like we lost because of a field goals like that. Y'all lost because you dropping the ball. You lost because of penalties. You lost because of things that you did, turn the ball over. Obviously the defense attributed to that, but you did things to effectively hurt your chances of getting number 1 seed. The Ravens won, but they played pretty bad, and they've been playing up and down all season. They just been able to win based on the fact they have better athletes, better talent. Obviously, Lamar Jackson, OBJ has been doing great, so they've been able to win on the backs of they've been able to exploit their talent. But in the playoffs, cats dropping the ball, you gonna lose the game. Y'all have a whole bunch of penalties, you're gonna lose the game. Missed tackles on defense, lose the game. Turnovers, lose the game. So, going to be interesting to see what happens in the NFL this week. The Bills play the Cowboys. I don't know if that's going to be the biggest game of the weekend. We'll see. That should be an interesting game. It's at home. Cowboys due for a loss, but the Bills have been playing up and down all season too. So we'll see. NBA news. The Lakers won the first ever 23-game championship. I don't know what that means. People said it was good. I didn't understand the rules, so I didn't watch. So I was like, so what are we doing? They 14-9. They won a championship against the Pacers. Does this count as a championship? Are we celebrating this as a championship? Where does this mantle go? Where does the freaking trophy go? How does this work? Are we going to have another championship in 24 more games? Is it next year 23 games? 25? I don't know. So I just say we just bring the bubble back. We all trying to bring the bubble back. I'm with the bubble. The players don't like the bubble. Bring the bubble back with the G League guys. G League guys or the D Leaguers, bring the bubble back with them. Bring it back in to compete with Big Three League, and we'll be all right. I think you bring the bubble back at around the same time and do like other off days when the Big Three League is in play, and we'll watch both of them. I thought the bubble was great. I obviously understand the players didn't like the bubble, so the NBA players don't have to play the bubble. Play with the D Leaguers, play with the G Leaguers, and let's get this money and really highlight some talent that is not in the NBA. And that's what the bubble was about anyway, highlighting talent that we wouldn't typically see on a nightly basis on like TNT, ESPN, these high teams, obviously like the Lakers, Miami, New York. We get to see other teams ball out. So we got to see Indiana Pacers, different teams and different players that we wouldn't typically see ball out. So I like the bubble. Bring the bubble back. The tournament in season, I don't even know what that means. There was too many rules, too many, like, what, these games count, these games don't count. I ain't got time for that. No thanks. In Draymond Green news, he beat somebody else up again. He slapped somebody yesterday. NBA's not doing anything. Give him another 3-game suspension, 5-game suspension. Don't answer this question. You think he's only violent at the workplace? I don't understand how this man has only over 20 violent acts, and not just violent, irrational, unwarranted acts of violence. And this man has not been suspended. He should never play again. How many times we look at, like, a punch in the face turns into a murder, a punch in the face turns into manslaughter, a choking, a fight. You don't know what people going through. You think the NBA can deal with a lawsuit if he slaps somebody and they pass out and die? And this man has had 20 violent acts. It's not like they have no warning. What are we doing here? But I'm told over this whole Draymond Green thing. I'm like, this man is whatever. I don't care. Y'all want to let this man be violent? He wouldn't be. Nope. I'm going to say this. Notice he only being violent with certain people. That's what I'm going to say. He ain't fighting nobody that can beat him up. That's all I'm going to say. We'll leave it at that. Otani is my man. He got $700 million. I don't really know how that works. So this is how this works. This is what allegedly they say happened. He got $700 million. He going to get $20 million while he's playing for 10 years. $2 million a year. And he's going to get the deferred part, $680 million, pretty much when he retired. Now, the reason why that is going to be an issue with the league is because it allows teams to really build championships, right? But most teams cannot do that. You can't say, hey, when I retire in 10 years, 15 years, send me $500 million over the next 10 years or 20 years after that, whatever. Now, baseball do have a lot of contracts where they're still paying players that have been retired for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. This isn't a new thing in baseball. It's a new thing when players are actually playing and negotiating these type of contracts. So we'll see how long that lasts. But keep in mind, the man is injured. So I'm like, how in the world this man, he only can hit next season. He going to be off a year and a half from pitching. Pitching is not like you can just pick it up 2 years later and be like, oh, I'm a great pitcher. He's a wonderful pitcher. But we'll see. But yeah, he's 50% of what he was hired to do will not be able to be done in 2024 because he has an injury. So we'll see how that works. I don't think this is going to change a lot of things when it comes to the MLB. I do think more teams will be open to players playing both ways. But I don't think this deferred contract will be a thing. Most teams cannot afford deferred contracts. The smaller market teams cannot be like, I'm going to get $500 million in 20 years, in 10 years. You might be in another city in 10 years. Keep it up. So obviously there's only about 5 teams that can do this. Chicago, the Cubs, the Yankees, Giants, the Dodgers, the Mets, maybe 2 other teams. But most of the teams in the league, at least 2025, cannot even go close to this because the promise would be essentially financial suicide. Some of these teams want to be moved in another couple of years. Some of these teams may have no choice to move. Some of these teams are already using tax dollars from other teams to fill that roster. So they may not be able to say, well, I'm going to guarantee this man $10 million, $20 million, $70 million in year 11 of a 20-year contract. So that ain't going to happen. But I do think it will help other teams be open to the players playing both ways. I think that will help the league in general. But we'll see. The big team's not going to take him, though. Yankees and Mets are probably not going to take a guy going both ways. Dodgers will do it for now to see how it works. But if I need pitching, I'm going to hire you to pitch. If I need hitting, I'm going to hire you to hit. The more you're on field, the more opportunity you get hurt. Hence why he's hurt now. He was pitching and hitting both ways, and it strained his arm, and he's toast. So, yeah, sports talk.